express concern, to join the Grand Bahama community at large, to express concern regarding the change of the independence celebration date. We know that independence is the 10th of July. The celebration is held on the 9th and goes into the 10th, as it has always been from 1973, when the Union Jack was lowered at 11:59 and our national flag was raised at 12 midnight. And from 1973 until 2018, that has always been the tradition. We in the labor movement, we also believe that there are certain events and certain situations in your country that you cannot change, that the weight of the independence of your country carries a greater weight than anything else. And so there should be no modification or adjustment to independence based on no individual, no group. You know, it is just something that we ought to recognize, respect, and do not touch. And so it is important for us. You know, I represent workers, and as I traverse through the land and bread of Grand Bahama, I hear the bickering. I hear the persons who are not pleased with the decision, and so it is my obligation, I believe, as a trade unionist and as a person who represents thousands of workers throughout the Bahamas, that I make their voices heard. And I appeal to the Independence Committee, to the Minister for Grand Bahama, Mr. Crazy Thompson, who I know to be an honorable man, and to the other 6 members of Parliament here in Grand Bahama. If there is sufficient time, and I believe there is, I believe the committee should rethink its decision and to put back the independence ceremony and events for the night to go into the tent. Because, I mean, what do we send up fireworks into the air for on the 8th? It can't be to bring in or to recognize the night, you know. And so it also sends a poor message to our children. I believe we have enough concerns any additional concerns and issues in the country. You know, these are standard things. I understand the person's personal feeling and maybe some of the intent, but the weight of us recognizing our day, our birthday, I think supersedes any personal desire of any committee. And so I call upon the committee, call upon our members of Parliament, our 5 members of Parliament, senators, to really take a look over the next couple of days. And there is no embarrassment to going back to where it ought to be. It's the honorable thing, you know. And we in the labor movement and in our coalition movement, we will fully support and you committee putting back the independence celebration to the 9th of July to usher in independence at midnight on July 10th. And so we thought it important enough to make a public statement on this and to really encourage the committee to do the honorable thing.
this present generation and the generations to come will not only remember the date, but the importance and the significance of that date. You know, one of the things that we have to keep in mind as a country that's 46 years old, that we have leaders that are to be servants to the people. And when we look at Independence Day is really the people's celebration. And leaders must realize that as servants of the people, in particular, you know, when we talk about ministers, we have ministers that make up the cabinet. The word minister means to serve. And so we have servant leaders that should serve the people. And when it comes to the people's celebration, Independence Day, really leaders should adapt their schedules to fit in with this people's celebration. And so we believe firmly that to change our celebration extravaganza from the traditional July 9th to July 8th is an injustice to our country, especially the people of Grand Bahama. Across this island, and community leaders, pastors, union leaders, all feel the necessity of maintaining a continuity in our history when it comes particularly to the observance of a very important marker in the history of our country, such as Independence Day. And so we join with others who appeal to those who are in charge to reconsider and to maintain what is traditionally done every year, that we celebrate on July 9th and that we transition into a holiday which is July 10th. And so Bahamians could enjoy their holiday, truly enjoy their holiday after celebrating their independence.
Pastor Lloyd Roll from Bethel's Living Center Church in Georgetown, It's rather interesting that we are here today to conduct this interview as it relates to our independent celebration. We discovered the new birth in this country in 1973. It was at midnight on the 9th. And so the following day, we express ourselves and join in with others in the big celebration. Here is the 8th. To have our celebration on the 8th, I think it's a slap in the face to the people of Grand Bahama. It appears as if we are always left behind, Freeport in particular. Our economy here is dying. And those that make the decision sometimes need to sit back and think about how and what to do. We discovered our new birth, and the big celebration was held on the 9th of July. And therefore, when the fireworks went off on the 9th of July, and we had our big celebration, and then we stayed up all night to bring in the 10th of July. What happens when we celebrate on the 8th with all the big fireworks, and then we stay on the park for hours and hours with no consideration for those that has to go to work the next morning? Well, I will say in Nassau, when Nassau celebrates independence on the 9th at midnight, then they stay on the park until nothing o'clock in the morning, because the following morning nobody goes to work. We must therefore have some consideration for the Grand Bahamians. We also need to celebrate and then wake up the next morning looking into the eyes of a holiday. And that is the problem. And so those folks who have to work on the 9th, they celebrate on the 8th, and then the 9th, they go to work. I don't think it's fair. And I call on the committee to rethink the position and work with the Grand Bahamians in our celebration. Nobody celebrates their birthday Nassau on the 8th, and let us celebrate Freeport on the 9th. That's interesting.
Okay, we are rolling and action.
My name is Reverend Terrence Jones, pastor of Eternal Life Deliverance Center, Assemblies of God. And I'm here to voice my concern concerning the change of date for the celebration of the independence ceremony. First of all, I would like to thank the committee for what they're doing, because I believe that their heart was in the right place, because I believe that they wanted to make it possible for as many of our parliamentarians, our Governor General, and other dignitaries to be here as we celebrate. However, while their heart might be in the right place, I beg to differ with the head. The head was not in the right place. First of all, if you're going to do that, I think you should consult the people who you represent. And having spoken to a number of persons, I haven't met a single person who is pleased with the change of time for the celebration. And the reason for that is simple. On several occasions, I would give my wife gifts before our anniversary, and I'd say, this is your anniversary gift. And then when the day comes, she would look me in the face and says, where is my anniversary gift? The same thing applies here. I believe there should have been consultation, and the fact that the date hasn't arrived yet, I think that head needs to come together, and because personally, I am going to celebrate independence on the Day of Independence. That is starting the night before. And so I believe that the majority, if not all Grand Bahamians, want to do the same. So those of you that are listening, parliamentarians and other dignitaries and decision makers, please, whenever you're going to make decisions,